take questions for Coach. We'll start front left.
Bruce, Ryan Clark, ESPN. It seems like one of the stories of this postseason with your team has been you get goals from everywhere. So what did it mean to see that tonight to open a series, especially knowing like, hey, look, this is how teams win at this time of the year?
Well, it's good for our team because that's what we've done, right? Everyone has a different formula. Certainly ours, 5-on-5 scoring. It's been excellent for us throughout the lineup. So you're happy for Howie, obviously. He had a real good series against Winnipeg. They were a little, quieter, I guess, for lack of a better word, against Edmonton. But Teddy Bluger scores a huge goal for us. We didn't even play the first X amount of games, and goes in for Amadio and moves some people around. Amo scored a huge overtime goal for us in Winnipeg. So it can't always be the stars, right, or the guys that you would expect, and that's what's been good about our team. We've had different people step up in key moments. It's the time of the year where you gotta enjoy the moment, and you gotta kind of embrace it. And we've had that with some guys that. You raise your hand if you had Howden in your pool tonight in overtime. Right? Like you probably went a different direction, right? And that's good for us. That's why we've been able to win.
Stay on the left.
Then goes Las Vegas Regional. Bruce, another game of this postseason, you guys able to respond when adversity hits you? Lose 2 third-period leads. Just what does it say about the group? They keep finding a way to reset.
Well, that's the positive. We keep pushing. We have a good response. As a coach, you right away look at you got to be able to finish those games, close out those games, because they'll catch up to you, right? So there's both sides of it. So we'll enjoy the fact that we won, and we do keep responding, and we'll just keep working on some of the situations that come up for us if we're not able to close out the game. For the most part, we have. There was a game in Winnipeg. We had a 4-1 lead, and they found a way back in and made some good plays. Full credit to them that. We should have closed it out, but we bounced back in overtime in that game. So I think our guys do have that short memory, so to speak, and are able to reset and refocus. The veteran group usually is able to do that, so give credit to them, and that's why we've done it a lot. We've played through a lot of different things this year, whether it's injuries or our goaltending situations, well documented, different things. We just keep playing, so that's what we have in the room, guys that want to keep playing. So. That's what happened tonight. We kept playing, we put it behind us. It's tough sometimes in the last 2 minutes. You can't let it bother you. Got to keep going. And good for us for doing that.
Right side up front.
Bruce, Willie Ramirez for the Sporting Tribune. You mentioned off the first question the depth and not all the big names. Mixed in there is William Karlsson, and we've been talking about it since the first series, and once again he comes up big tonight.
Yeah, he's had a really good, a real second half of the year, but a really good playoff. And some of the ice he covers, the little things you don't see in terms of reloads, back checks, stick position, winning board battles. It's a lot of little things that go into his game, and I'm happy to see him get rewarded scoring because, again, he's going to the areas where you're going to find pucks in the dirty areas, and he's still able to play solid defense and work his way out of those areas when it doesn't work out and defend really well. So can't say enough good things about him. I mean, again, you need guys like that this time of year. We're strong down the middle. It's been a key to our team all year, and he's a big reason for that.
Stay on the right.
Jesse Granger with the Athletic coverage. Keaton Kolesar blocks a shot that stung him, and it looked like he had some really good jump after that. He crashes the net and creates a goal. You've used the phrase "it hurts to win" a lot this year. Is that an example of that?
Sure is, right? Sure is. If you're going to have to put yourself in harm's way. Board battles, you do that, take a hit to make a play, go to the front of the net. Sometimes the puck doesn't always find you and you're taking cross checks and whacks, shot blocks, go right down the list, right? And if you're not willing to do that, then I don't know if you win. I really don't. You better have some really, really high-end talent or a goal that just keeps you in every night. So it's been a formula for us all year. Maybe that's why we've had a few injuries, because you do put yourself in harm's way. We've been able to play through it. But yes, we've bought into that, and credit to the guys. They're the ones that have to make the commitment on the ice now.
Ken Bolkison in Vegas felt like you guys had a lot of zone time tonight, and I think a lot of that had to do with how good you played at the blue lines. What went so well at both blue lines?
Manage the puck. When you play behind them, you're going to get some back. You're not going to get them all back, but we're forcing them to now make a breakout play. You have to execute in order to get out of your zone, and you need to have good puck placement on those, some structure on your forechecks, so you're not duplicating all over the ice. You're able to put pressure on, and effort plays. And it's been a big key to our success in the entire playoffs. When we've got to that part of our game, we've been a real good team. Because when we do create turnovers, we're dangerous enough that we can put pucks in the net. And that the 5-on-5 numbers have sort of, reflect that. And then at our blue line, if we can defend our blue line well, I mean, I thought they had a bit of the same strategy. They were trying to get behind us. I mean, it's that time of year, right? The ice is typically hard to generate off the rush unless you've kind of fatigued the team first by doing some of those things and they lose their gap. So it's what we're gonna do. And we're gonna do it Sunday. So you can put that in print or whatever it is these days, that's our game and we're not trying to hide from it. Hopefully we still get a few rush chances built in there because we do things well. We did have some 2-on-1s to put the game away by winning board battles early on. Stoney had one, Jack and Barbie late, Bluger and Coley make another play. So some of those opportunities are certainly there, but I think it starts with, playing behind them and then forechecking as a group of 5.
Second row on the right.
Bruce, Alan Snow with LVSportsBiz.com. You mentioned how winning these games where you can't close it out, but win in the end kind of cut both ways. I'm wondering, the team has had a really good record with 1-goal wins this year. I'm just wondering, is the team beginning, what's your take on just why the team seems to squeeze out these 1-goal wins some way or another?
Well, that's, it's a good question. As I said, I think we're a resilient group. We do have a short memory. Don't let everything bother us. We do have the ability to score after the team comes back because, we simply can't score. It's just the makeup of the group. Sometimes you have those seasons where you don't overcome things. We have that group that will this year. Credit to the, usually starts at the top, the guys that have won, the Petros and the Martys set the example and kind of trickles down. This team's been to a lot of different playoff series. They know that a game doesn't usually swing or, end on one play, I mean, overtime, obviously, but in general, there's a lot of different things that go into it, so get back to it. And as I said, I think the players, when they give up a lead and score right away, they don't remember that they give up a lead as much as we do as coaches, because we're watching everything over again and we want to be perfect. So I think players that just look at it sometimes, the natural ebbs and flows of games. They're gonna make some plays. They got good players. Every team you play in this league has good players. They're gonna push back. They want to win too. So I think there's a little bit of that involved that you forget sometimes as a coach. And so we try not to get too worked up if that does happen. Let's correct it. How can we get better? And again, there's an example. We'll talk a little about that tomorrow. Hey, we have the lead. Where did it go wrong? And sometimes you can't pinpoint it. Just the other team like the 6-on-5. I thought we did some good things, and we just didn't get in front of that shot from the top, and they outnumber us at the net because they have an extra guy in the ice. And we were trying to battle it out. Give them credit. They got it to the net, and we weren't able to find the spot.
We have time for 2 more in the middle, Dan.
Bruce, Dan Rosen, NHL.com. I'm wondering, as it went into overtime, everybody else was watching the game, were you thinking about what happened last night in overtime?
I was, Dan. I said, let's get this over with early so everyone can go home tonight. Because there's a lot of work around the National Hockey League. I watched the game from start to finish. I found out the beauty of being out west now. As the game ended, it was still 11 o'clock at night. So that's the one, it was kind of nice. Listen, you never know how those are going to go, so don't turn down any shots, I guess. I thought the goaltenders last night, not to digress from tonight, I thought they played really well in overtime. Like, there was chances to score, just didn't happen. So, but hey, we were able to capitalize in the first look. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes it's 4 overtimes.
Last question on the left.
Rivers dating Webster, Las Vegas Sun. Pottinger obviously was very good tonight, but a lot of rebounds from him uncharacteristic. Do you think that kind of helped in terms of crashing the net and getting your looks?
Well, we're going to get there, so we're going to force them to control those and force their D to box out and force them to get under sticks and all those things. You have to. Like, he's a good goaltender. There's no doubting that, and we have to find ways to get to him. And if that means getting in his face and 2-for-1s or anything below the goal, like even below the goal line, Whitey, it's not necessarily a rebound, but it's an off-net shot that's not coming back at you. So some of that is built in. If you don't see a lane behind the net, we're good behind there. And it can be hectic trying to recover. So sometimes those work out, sometimes they don't. We're not purposely shooting off net when we have a lane, but if you don't, let's not force it. So there's different things that go into that. We're not a big team that funnels all night and goes to the net for rebounds. We haven't been that team all year. If you probably look at our shot attempts, we're probably lower. sometimes we will look for the extra pass to make a play, and there's gonna be times where we're gonna have to count on that volume shooting to recover pucks, and I think it'll be a mix this series, because Dallas is pretty good at swarming you early on, and if you don't get it out of there into the net in a hurry, you may lose your opportunity. So we've talked about that. I'll look at it again tomorrow, but I thought we're gonna try to make him work really hard, to be good in there. We don't wanna give him all these easy stops where he sees everything, and I think they'd say the same about Aiden, right? They wanna get in his face, and that's just this time of year.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, thank you.